Hello, my name is Dan. I discovered an underground intercontinental tunnel system underneath New York City. See, the same day the tunnels were discovered underneath the synagogue in New York City, I decided to head down that way as I'm sort of a nosy person and something just didn't seem right about this whole story, so I had to see it myself. The story about these students allegedly building these tunnels to avoid lockdown restrictions because they just wanted to go to temple so bad was obviously total bullcrap, and the news was obviously covering something up. So I had to find out the truth in person, and you wouldn't believe it, but when I went down to the synagogue, I saw a rabbi crawling out of a sewer grate as I approached. So after he left, I just couldn't resist the urge to explore it myself. So I pushed the sewer grate open and climbed into the darkness. Hello? What I discovered has my mind spinning, and I don't know how to say this, but I discovered an intercontinental tunnel system underneath the New York City synagogue headquarters. There's a golden map on the wall with a massive five-pointed Jewish star with each point leading to a different location on the earth. One that stood out to me was a housing complex in Buffalo, New York. Etched into the golden map was a diagram of the housing complex and how the tunnel connected to each one of the basements. This has my mind spinning. What have I discovered? As I look around, I struggle to even begin to describe what I have seen. As I look, there is endless gold stretching as far as the eye can see, and there is treasure in every direction, and a shallow river in the middle of each tunnel with sunken gold underneath it. Tied up to the edge was a small boat with a lantern on it. I'm not sure why, but I decided to climb into it, and the next thing I knew, I was undoing the rope tied to the edge of the river, and I was flowing with the current, my lantern illuminating the walls. Flickering in the lantern's light was a teddy bear tossed on the bottom of the boat. Creepy. The interior of the tunnel was dark and musty, with cobwebs hanging from the ceiling and a thick layer of dust covering everything. I made my way down a narrow river in my little boat. Suddenly, I heard the faint voices of a far-off orchestra singing a glorious symphony, the sound coming down the tunnel and getting louder as I drew closer, bathing me in symphony, hypnotizing me. Was this a spell? Yes, this was a spell, and I tensed my muscles and woke myself up out of the spell and splashed my face with water. I approached the source of the sound. Above me was some kind of grate into a church cathedral. I could see the illumination of thousands of candles and the light illuminating the church choir. They suddenly stopped, and I heard a whisper. "He's here. Quickly, bring the boy." And then, with a hush and a rush, I heard hundreds of footsteps rushing down what must have been a staircase near me. And as I passed by, the door rushed open with hundreds of hooded men dressed in robe carrying what looked like a body wrapped in a decorative sheet covered in some type of golden pattern. They shouted, "Jacob, Jacob, where are you going? Stop! You forgot the boy!" Who was Jacob? And what were they carrying? What was this boat for? What is this tunnel for? I realized with a growing sense of horror that I had stumbled upon an ancient cult hidden deep beneath the streets of New York City. As I stared with my mouth open, I knew I had to escape. But the cultists had already spotted me. They began to chase me through the tunnels, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. As I paddled as fast as I could, my heart pounding in my chest, their footsteps and screams mere inches behind me, I felt the warm breath of their screams and the water from their pounding footsteps splashing against my back and neck. My shirt was drenched. I was convinced I would be ripped off the boat and into the water any second. I felt like I was about to die, and my heart began to beat so loud in my chest it drowned out their screams and splashing footsteps. I paddled so hard my hands began to bleed, and I never stopped paddling. Over time, with God's mercy, the footsteps and screams began to fade behind me until they became silent. I looked back, and there was only endless darkness behind me. I'm not sure what horror awaits me, but clearly there is no turning back. Down here, there are hundreds of Comet pizza boxes littered all over the place. I've heard of this Comet Pizza before. I know it's a place here in New York City, and now I'm convinced it's connected to these tunnels. Otherwise, why would there be pizza boxes literally everywhere inside these tunnels? I suppose if I grow weak from starvation, I will end up rifling through these empty pizza boxes, looking for uneaten slices. Is that how I will leave this world? Looking for uneaten scraps from some pizza cult in a secret tunnel underneath this city? Maybe, or maybe it's how I will survive to live another day. And that's when I saw it. That's when I heard it. That's when I smelled it. Unbelievable. There was literally a running Comet Pizza delivery car parked on the edge of the river. Yes, running. Keys inside. Door open. I quickly climbed out of my tiny boat and climbed into what looked like a 1990s Dodge Neon 5-speed. And let me tell you, this car smelled like a mixture of pizza, gasoline, sweet and tangy wings, and Rockstar energy drinks. And it was facing the direction I came from, the direction of the cult. Perfect. This is the exact direction this car needs to be facing. all 4,000 pounds of heavy metal. I clicked the seatbelt, let go of the clutch, lit one of the Camel menthols sitting on the seat, exhaled and breathed a sigh of relief. I got the car going over 100 miles per hour, and there they were, with their torches lit, running after me to kill me. But the opposite was about to happen. I'm not going to tell you what happened next, but let's just say that cult is not going to be a problem anymore. I'm not sure whose car this is, but screw that person. I'm just glad I got out of there alive. And maybe I'll go check out this Comet Pizza place. Take my Comet Pizza delivery car and see where the road takes me. Maybe this is the beginning of my journey as a hero to save this city, one pizza delivery at a time.